Hi, so I just thought I'd jump on here and give you a bit of an update. I haven't posted a video in a bit. I am consultant led. I've already shared this with you guys, and I went to my 36-week appointment, had my 36-week scan. Unfortunately, we found out that the baby is still bottom down, so their bridge and their head is up here. And so my consultant walked me through the options that I have, which is schedule a cesarean section because I've already had a C-section before, so I can opt to have a C-section if I wanted to. Have what's called an ECV, external cephalic version, which is basically when you go into the hospital, it's a day procedure, go into the hospital and they turn the baby manually from the outside to get their head down into the position that they should be by now. Or the third option would have been a breech option. Number one and number three have always been a no for me. I have got 3 kids, and I'm expecting my 4th. With my son, I had a vaginal birth, and I found the recovery for that was quite quick and easier. With the twins, I ended up having an emergency C-section, and that was tough. That was hard. I ended up having my C-section opening up a little bit on the sides, and I was younger, I was fitter, and the recovery was still absolutely brutal. I take my hats off to women who have C-sections. It's hard. So for me, with this baby, I want an unmedicated natural birth. So obviously I went with option 2, which is the ECV, and try for the doctors to try and turn the baby. So we did that yesterday, went into the hospital. My husband is just... I'm married to one of those who just don't think that everything should be content. I was so excited to film everything and make content out of that because I didn't even know that an ECV was a thing up until my consultant told me about it. So obviously this was last week when my consultant told me about the ECV. I came home and I made sure that I got myself a doctorate from YouTube and Google and loaded up on as much information as I can. I watched so many positive ECV stories because I just needed to get myself in that frame of mind that that'll be me as well. My ECV will be successful. So we went in yesterday. I was greeted by the midwife that was going to look after me for the hours that I was going to be in the hospital. She was absolutely lovely. She had a student midwife who was also really, really lovely. And my consultant came. They scanned just to make sure that the baby hasn't turned. Sadly, the baby had not turned, still bottom down. When I found out that the baby was still bottom down, I did all the exercises. I ate everything that other women were suggesting online. I did practically just at one point, lived in headstands trying to get the baby to turn, but the baby just didn't turn. So I went into the hospital. My consultant came in and scanned, confirmed that the baby was still head up, bottom down. And they explained the procedure. So they explained that they were going to inject me to help with to help relax the muscles of my womb. I was like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not no meds. Goes, okay, we can give you subtomal inhaler. You know, the inhaler that people use that have got asthma. They used to use that. My consultant explained that they used to use that pre-COVID, but then during COVID, because of I don't know, I wasn't listening to that part, to be honest, but they stopped using that during COVID, and they could offer me that as an alternative because it also relaxes the muscles of my womb. I said no to that. So they said, okay, we agreed that they would try to turn the baby. My husband was just sitting in the corner, just rolling his eyes. And even though I was not looking at him, I could feel that he was doing that, because it's such an Esther thing to do. I am one of those women. When I was pregnant with the twins, I was induced 5 times in a space of 6 days. I was that adamant to have a natural birth with the girls. Unfortunately, they got into distress after the 5th induction, I guess, and I just had to go into an emergency C-section. But I don't know what it is. I guess it's a pregnant woman thing. My husband says it's an Esther thing. That when I make up my mind about something, that something is going to happen. So I declined all the medication. They offered me gas and air for pain. I said, no, I'm going to soldier this on. I'm going to take this one like a woman that my grandmother will be proud of. Let's do it. They talk you through everything as they are doing it, which is lovely. But I didn't even hear any of it. I just went into a little world of my own, because it was... When I tell you, it was excruciatingly painful. It was painful. It was absolutely painful. I had watched videos of doctors doing it and saying, oh, it's just a bit of discomfort. And then I watched videos of women telling their own experiences, and they were like, it's excruciating. Some women were saying that it was worse than childbirth. I was like... Women these days are so dramatic. When I tell you, it was only about maybe 2-3 minutes that they were slowly turning the baby. At some point, I closed my eyes and I saw my ancestors welcoming me home. That's how painful it was. My ancestors were just like, do you wanna come home, love? I was like, yep, I'm ready. I'm coming. And halfway through the process, I just said, can we just stop for a bit? Just give me a minute to breathe. So they did that, and my husband gave me a pep talk. He's like, you can do this, this is something that you want, and this is something that... Actually, when we stopped halfway, they scanned and they saw that the baby had moved a little bit, and the head was now on the side as opposed to the top, so the baby had moved quite a fair bit. And so Lionel was like, you can do this. And so I said, okay, fine, let's give it another go. And they came back in, they talked me through, Esther, why don't you just use gas and air? I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that. I don't want that. Can we give you some medication of some sort? I'm like, no, I'm good. Let's try this again and see how we get on. And we tried again. And these are my thoughts whilst I was at the hospital. This is the room that we were in. What made the whole thing quite scary for me was that the fact that they do it in a delivery suite makes it real. We're just monitoring the baby now. I was on YouTube earlier just to try and see other people's stories. I watched, I think, about 8 videos, and none of them were successful. So I started thinking about whether it was even worth it. What makes
mine, even more incredible for me, is the fact that I did not want any medication. I did not want the medication that they're offering to soften my womb. I did not want pain relief. I just wanted to get it done. It was painful, I'm not gonna lie. I watched videos of some women saying, "Oh, it just feels like a belly massage." I don't even know what ECV those women had, because it was painful. It's not so much as the flipping of the baby that was painful, it's the pinching of my skin and the contact, that the pressure that the consultant was applying on my belly, that was more painful than anything else. They did try to offer me medication for pain, or even Gassene for pain, but I said no. I am really determined to have an unmedicated birth. So I believe that it starts here with the turning of the breech baby. But yeah, I am excited. It worked. It worked.
As you can see from that video, the procedure worked. It worked. The baby is now head down. I'm so excited. I'm just so emotional. It was painful, and I think for me what was more painful was where they were making contact with my skin and turning the baby. And when we're trying it again, the consultant just went like this, and I was like, wait, because I was gonna ask them to use some gel, whether that would probably make it a little bit easier, and they were like, oh, the baby is 10. I'm like, pardon? And then they're like, sit up, push your bottom backwards, sit up, let's see. Then they scanned, and the baby was in the position where the baby, like the head was down. My ECV procedure was successful. I will cry. It was successful. And so now we're just waiting. I'm going back in to see my consultant next week, and seemed a bit on the positive side that the procedure was successful. Therefore, I stay at home until my body just goes into labor by itself, and then go in to the hospital to give birth. So if you are a mama that has got a breech baby, and you have done everything you can possibly do, but your baby hasn't turned, and you want to consider an ECV, I would say go for it. That was my EVC story. Hope it inspires you. Hope you learn something from it. And thank you so much for watching. Bye.